Welcome to Edufy World's Real Talk 101, where we shed light on love and life. My name is Conan and I'll be your host. Today we have with us our amazing brother. Welcome to the show, bro.
Thank you very much, Conan. Lovely.
So let's kickstart. Please tell us what your name is and where were you born?
My name is Gideon. It's Gideon Gasinu. And as you can judge from my surname, I come from Volta region in Ghana.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit more about the Volta region of Ghana, because not everyone knows about Ghana and even the Volta region, to be precise.
So the Volta region is in the Volta region of Ghana. One time someone actually did ask me this question, and that was the exact answer that came out. It's in the Volta region. It's like, where is the Volta? Is it in the east, north, south, west? So the Volta region, it's known for where we have a tribe called the Ewas. That's where they come from.
Guys, you should check it out, man. Go to the Ghana, check out the Ewa tribe, where our brothers from. Tell me about your childhood. What was the best part of your childhood and what was the worst part of your childhood?
My childhood is actually quite interesting. So when I was around 4 years old, my dad flew over and came over to the UK. So the first 4 years of my life, which obviously a lot of people don't remember, but I do remember that really clearly.
Oh, wow.
Because I remember when I was a kid, around 4 years old, my dad used to hold me by the leg, he'd hold me and he'd be telling me that, hey, your intestines are going to drop into your brain.
Oh my gosh.
Saying that. And I used to have so much fun with that particular activity. And at age 4, that sort of stuck with me.
Oh, nice.
And I didn't see my dad for a couple of years until I was around about 14, so about 10 years.
Wow.
I saw my dad again, because he was here working, schooling, trying to make ends meet, working things out so we can have a better future.
Nice.
It wasn't easy, but eventually, we came together, and here we are. Things have worked out. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. So what would you say the worst part of your childhood was? Well,
the worst part is actually growing within that period where my dad was not there. My mom did a great job, I would say, because it's not easy to be raising a man child. I've got 2 boys now, so I can tell that she did an absolutely great job. It's not easy. It's more like for those who are single mothers and trying to raise boys, it's not an easy job. During that time of my life, it wasn't easy growing up without my dad being around. And then when I came back to join him, obviously we've grown apart for 10 years. So when I came in, there was a bit of a gap over there, because he remembers me as that 4-year-old that he left. But I've matured into a man. So it took some time to reconcile that gap, because he was still relating as that 4-year-old that he used to hold the leg and try to say that intestines are going to your brain, but I have matured so much from there. So that relationship had to graduate. But it took time. It took a lot of effort. It took a lot of patience. To a lot of frustration in the process as well, because we didn't understand each other for a while. But God being so good with patience, with prayer, gradually we got to a very good place. So the most difficult part, I'd say, is the aspect where the father figure was absent.
Wow. That is powerful, man. Thank you for sharing that, bro. Thank you for sharing that. And who would you say was the most influential person in your life? I can tell from what you're saying that your father was a very influential person in your life, but I want you to tell us.
So I mean, he was even from a distance away. But you will realize that in that absence, you obviously begin to look out for other models and role models that are much closer to find that solace of a father figure in. I'd say that one person that has actually, aside my dad, one person that has actually been very influential in my life was my Reverend Minister.
Oh, wow.
And he's Reverend Nathan Kwesiabua in Ghana.
Wonderful.
I joined the church really young. I was in a Methodist church by then. And my mom started attending because he felt that the preacher was, fun. He doesn't just go straight to the text. There's always a story to it that always keeps the text in your mind. Even if you forget the text, you remember the story, and then it brings the text to life. So his sermons were different, and his character. For me, that is the thing. He's taught me a lot of ethics that has shaped my life and sort of brought it to where it is right now. So massive role model.
Wow.
Massive.
Wow. Guys, find yourself a role model that will teach you the right things.
Absolutely.
Find yourself a role model like our brother did, you know? Find yourself one.
There's always that one person that you can always look up to. But find the person that has the ethics of truth.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you very much for sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you once again. What was the happiest time of your life? What would you say? Like,
well, I have a lot of happy moments, but I think the one that supersedes all is when I had my first son.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I felt, oh my God, I've made life. I've created life. So, you know, it was amazing when I saw him for the first time and held him in my arms.
Oh, wow.
You know, it was, I felt different. And this is an emotion that probably was locked up until he gave me the opportunity to call myself a father.
Wow.
You know, and that moment, I realized that there is more to life than there has always been.
Exactly.
You know? So, yeah, I say that tops it all.
Nice. So what would you say your profession is? What is your profession and why?
I am a transport planner. So it spans from, is an aspect of civil engineering, transport planning or transport engineering.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I currently do. I'm a transport planner. And the reason why I went into that was partly encouragement from my dad. But personally, I wanted to be an architect.
Oh, I see.
Either an architect or a gynecologist. I knew that was coming, because anytime I say that, you know, to be honest, and the thing is, I did so well in biology in school, and sciences was my favorite.
Yeah.
So I loved science. I love how things work. So I knew that from a tender age, is either I become an engineer or I become, you know, I go into the medical profession.
Yeah.
And exactly what, I wasn't sure, but I knew it was going to be one of these things, because I just love, you know, the way things work. I want to know. I'm more inquisitive. I want to find out, break things, put them together, set them apart, like stuff like that. I kept on doing that. So I eventually got into engineering. That encouraged me to get into civil engineering, and so I went to Tech, KNUST, and that's why I studied civil engineering. But all through the process of doing that, I remember I used to always go and study in the architecture hall, because I loved architecture so much. We did an aspect of architecture in civil engineering, which was technical drawing.
Okay.
And I was the best in my class.
Wow.
If any of my colleagues get to watch this, they were tested. Yeah. It was myself and one other guy called Aka Ernest. So it was always a competition between him and I. If I get 9.5 over 10, he'll get 10, or I'll get 10, he'll get 9.5 over 10, you know, that kind of thing.
That is a healthy competition, though.
I know. You know, so yeah, constantly I'll be learning in the architecture hall, because my granddad is an architect as well.
Oh, nice.
And I saw, you know, a lot of the iconic buildings in Ghana. He actually did the models for them, including National Theatre. He did it.
It runs in the family, man. It runs in the blood.
Exactly. I know. So yeah, I was a very, you know, good lines person, but for some reason I got stuck with civil engineering, you know, rather than architecture. But all the same, it still worked out. I still love the transport that I'm doing anyway. So
was there a time where you thought that the career you're pursuing, you're not going to make it, you know? And why did you have that kind of feeling?
Conan, I think that is a very interesting question, because after I came from uni, I think somewhere in 2010, when I finished civil engineering, I obviously relocated here and was trying to find work. Yeah, it was really difficult. So I decided to do my master's straight away. Yeah. And I went in to do masters in transport planning and environment. And you know the interesting thing, when I finished tech, and I stayed for another year because I was a teaching assistant. So I stayed for a year, and during that time I started applying for schools in the UK to come and do my masters. One of the lecturers saw me and said to me, are you also, because around that time all the teaching assistants will be applying for you know, schools outside and all. Yeah. And it came to his knowledge that I was applying, you know, as well. And he's always seen me to be this guy, beautiful face, empty head. Yeah. You know, that's what he's always said. Well, that is the perception he has. That if you're handsome looking or you're beautiful, and this thing they call bevu, it means that, you know, you like to put on some blings and you know, get your sneakers on and you look a certain way like a pop star. Then it means that you're not in for the books, you're in for the girls. Right? Yeah, that's the conception.
That's very stereotypical.
I know, absolutely. So this man boxed me straight away, put me in that pigeonhole, and said to me, you're not going to get any school outside. And I told him that, you know what, I actually do have an offer. He told me, no way, that's not going to happen. He just literally wrote me off.
What?
Did not expect me to get any school. So when I eventually got, because I had an email saying I'd been given an unconditional offer. So I printed it out and I went and showed it to him. And I said, well, I actually have it and this is it. And I intentionally did that. When I came to do my master's, the lecturer that my head lecturer, right?
Yeah.
He made a statement and he said to me, well, there are different branches of transport planning, but with the particular aspect that you did, I don't think you're going to find a job. Yeah, that's what he told me. Now, with these two things in my mind, I said to myself, listen, these are negative comments.
Yeah.
I can feed on them and they can degrade me, or I can choose the opposite energy of that, which is I would dare myself to prove them wrong.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely what I did.
Guys, it's your choice to make.
Yeah.
It's your choice to make. Do not feed on the negativity of people.
Absolutely.
Turn that negative perspective of them into a positivity in your life.
I like that.
And God will always bless that positivity.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah. And it happened, you know, after that, I started, after school, I started looking for work.
Yeah.
And it felt as though what this man was saying was actually coming to pass. I had interviews, and it was just around the credit crunch when we were starting to recover, so 2012. I tried everything from, you know, company to company, and nothing was happening for me. I had a lot of interviews, and I remember this particular interview that I went to. It was outside London, but I didn't care. If I got a job, I was going to relocate. You know, I didn't care. I just wanted the job.
Yeah.
And the interview went so well, and they interviewed me about something that I wasn't prepared for. Okay. So they asked me, so if you have this scenario, how are you going to handle it? And I told them, and they were shocked. Wow. Yeah, they were shocked. And I don't even know how personally, I'm very analytical in things. It just happened to be, right? So I analyzed and I gave them what I thought. And they were shocked. And I knew from that time, because the expressions on their faces were just telling it. And I knew from that time I was going to get it.
They were priceless.
But, yeah. I heard as well that, you know, the CEO of that company had a son as part of, you know, the guys we were being interviewed. And that it was obvious he was going to be the choice. Job. Yeah. So later on I get, you know, they reimbursed my journey and everything, but I didn't get a job. That was the closest I got to. I tried other places and it didn't work. So eventually I ended up working in education. Because a friend of mine was working there and he got me a referral. I was praying so hard and nothing was happening. But that morning, something interesting happened. Before I went for interview for that job, I woke up in the morning and I prayed to God and I said, God, I've had so many interviews. This is not in my field and I'm going anyway. Just make it happen. I just want to start working. I want to do something. Yeah. Even if it's not a field, I want to do it, you know? So I woke up, I prayed, I opened my Bible. God said to me, I had clearly opened your Bible. I opened my Bible and I read this. Honor thy son, that thy son may honor you. And this was Jesus talking to God. And then I took that as though it was mine. And it was my communication with God. And I said, God, honor me and I'll honor you. And I went for the interview and it wasn't even an interview. It was like, welcome to the job. Yeah, and it just happened like that, you know. And then one day I was there. I did not contact this recruiter. Random call. It just came. Are you looking for a job? I said, yeah. Transport planning? I said, yeah. I said, okay. London? I said, yeah. I said, okay, what salary range are you looking at? So I don't even know. You know, I just want to get there and start working. Okay? So get me there. And then he was like, okay, there's an opening that has come up and there's an interview if you want. I said, yes. So I went for that interview. I prepared myself as much as I could. The day before I went, the night before the interview, I had this clear word. It's good to have a relationship with God. I can't overstress this, but it is good to have a relationship with God. Yeah. Do you know how I got this job? I woke up that morning, and when I was going, I had this clear word. When you go, say you love maths. As insane as it sounds. I mean, I love maths. Yeah, so what? Right? I need to be, I love maths.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had that, and I went for the interview. So I went in, I got interviewed, I said what I had to say. And I was looking for an opportunity to say I love maths. And it wasn't coming because it was just weird. I didn't know where to fit it.
Yeah.
And then I think just about when I was about to leave, they asked me, what the things I like to do and stuff. And then I decided to bring that in. I said, oh, I actually really do love maths. Like it's one of my favorite areas. I just said that. After 2 weeks, I had a letter. You got a job.
God's good.
And then I got in. Now, how did I get to know that me saying I love maths actually make me get a job? So one of my colleagues came to me and he said to me, do you know how come you got a job? Because they interviewed a lot of people before you came in. And I said, well, I don't know. You tell me. And he said, well, when you said you love maths and you left, we were all talking about it. And there was a debate in the office about who they should pick. Because they interviewed one guy just before you. And he was very good. And they wanted to pick him. But because you said you love maths, and a lot of the things that we do is sort of mathematical analysis, they said they'll give you a shot. Yeah. So that statement, I love maths, landed me that job.
This is absolutely inspiring because imagine from the time where you were being told all these negative things, you didn't let that push you down.
No.
And you were even willing to go into another field just to be able to make sure that you're doing something at least.
Yeah.
You're being productive at least.
Absolutely.
And you waited on God patiently.
Yeah.
And God did honor you.
Yes.
He actually honored you.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Glory be to God. As a transport planner, what's a typical day like for you or a typical week like for you?
Before lockdown, I mean, it was normal, go to work, come back, the kids at home. But during this lockdown is a bit different. I was yearning for the opportunity because working from home, I mean, it's fun. You get to spend time with the kids, your dad, missus, and it was nice. But honestly, it's come to that point where you begin to feel, the heat. It's not very easy. I mean, I get the luxury of it. I used to wake up at around 6 or 5:30 to get ready for work. But this time around, I wake up at 7, which means I get a bit more extra time to sleep, which is good. So normally, I wake up at 7. First thing, the boys wake up at 7 as well. So we wake up together.
Exactly, yeah.
So we brush our teeth together. And the next thing is I come downstairs and I pray for 20 minutes just to start my day. And then after that, I get into my next routine, which is I get music on for praises. I praise for 20 minutes, but I dance actively. Because of where it's cold as well. I normally used to go and jog around for half an hour and come. But because it's too cold, I can't do that. So I dance and, as rigorously as I can, just to make sure I break the sweat.
Okay.
So after that, then I get into my office and then I read the Bible for probably a chapter or 2 or 3, as much as I can cover within half an hour. Yeah. And then after that, I pray and then I get into work. So that's what I do every single day. Then it's work, lunchtime, come down, have lunch for about half an hour, play with the boys for half an hour, go back to work, finish around 5:30, come down, play with the boys a bit, put them to sleep around 7. By 7:30 they're asleep. Then the rest of the evening is for my missus, so we spend time together.
You see that, guys?
I mean, it's absolutely important that the boys, go to bed early so we can have, some time. Because it's very stressful. She being with the boys, homeschooling, aside, she working as well. So it's not very easy juggling, in between all that. But it's worked for a while. But I think I've gotten to the point where I'd love at least one day, traveling to work, nice.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah, but that's my typical day.
So, bro, tell us, man, what do you enjoy most about your job, man?
Well, the fact that it is not one thing every day, you get to do different things every day. You work on different projects, and every project is absolutely different. So I love the variety because I get bored really easily and quickly. Okay. I like new things. My wife will always say, when I get something new, I can't wait. I need to unbox it now, see what it's in now, try to fix it now, like get everything that now and then put it up. So I love new things.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only new thing I don't want is I don't want another wife. I love my wife. So I always renew her in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I love new things, and I get fed up with things quite quickly.
Yeah.
So I love variety, and I try to. If I can't get variety here, then I'll try to engineer something else to create that variety for me, keep it moving. So yeah, I mean, my job offers me that variety, so I love it. That's what makes it good.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. So what would you say is the least pleasing or least thing you like about
deadlines?
Deadlines.
Yeah, I don't like it. Because sometimes it's really, really tight. It's really, really tight. And I think you need to please the client as well. Yeah. Whether internal or external client, you need to please them. So yeah, deadlines are not very easy to deal with. Boy. Yeah.
So tell us what are some of the current trends in the field that upcoming professionals need to know, people that actually want to enter your profession. Yeah. What are some of the trends that
I think current trends are, because we are into transport planning, right? And we look at the impact of, let's say, new developments on existing transport network, right? So let's say we're going to build a new Tesco in this corner. It's going to attract a lot of trips, or a lot of people are going to start coming in there. What is the road network? What is the capacity of the road network that's going to start bringing the people in? Are the junctions going to be able to cope with the amount of vehicles that are going to come in? Yeah. What is the existing, nature of traffic like? And how is it going to become 10 years time after that particular development has been built? Yeah. So that is a sort of analysis that's just an aspect of the analysis that we do. So we do modeling work a lot to sort of inform that decision for bringing up, a development, for example, in the area.
So, as you was talking earlier on, you did mention the fact that you went to uni, you went to tech, and then you studied civil engineering. Yeah. So that's a degree you got with civil engineering. And when you came to the UK, you furthered your studies and you studied masters in transport planning. Yeah. Okay. So, would you say that your first degree, both your first degree and the second degree, are very relevant to your job right now?
Well, actually, yeah, they absolutely are relevant to the job. In a nutshell, they are. Because transport is an aspect of civil engineering, which is in transport engineering. And then I did a master's in transport engineering, transport planning and engineering.
Okay. Yeah. So that takes me then to my next question. Would you say that university is an absolute important aspect of landing a job in this field, or can people just gain experience through apprenticeship and still land the same job? Yeah. Or what would you say?
There are different ways of getting into it. So whatever the opportunity is presented to you, you take it. And it's about the mindset. The people who have all the degrees, but yes, they don't have the ethics or the mindset to actually, push further and get what they want. Yeah. And there are others who have very little of it, and yet still they push and they get something. So having a degree is great. It puts you in a better position. It makes you more hireable. So you don't necessarily need civil engineering, for example, to get into transport planning. Yeah. You need geography. If you have a degree in geography, you can still get into transport planning. Okay. You speak well, you communicate well, you can type, because a lot of the things you do is reporting. So you kind of you speak well, you can write well, you have a degree in geography, absolutely. Oh, fantastic. And you can even come in as a technician, starting with some softwares. Okay, so you can learn AutoCAD. Okay. Because a lot of the things, 2D designs that we do is with AutoCAD. Okay. So you come in as an AutoCAD engineer, and then you learn the trade from there. Okay. You get it. So yeah, you kind of,
So, in terms of getting a job, what are some of the effective ways that an upcoming professional in your field can land a job for themselves in your field? Yeah.
Well, I would say once you have, it depends on which route you're coming from. Once you have the degree, right? You see, most of the time when people are getting into new jobs, you're thinking about how much am I going to be paid and all that. Don't really focus too much on the money, right? Focus on getting your leg in. Yeah. Once you get in, after a year, you'll fly. Yeah. You'll fly. So that is exactly what happened to me. I got in my first job after a year. It wasn't too great for me, so I moved somewhere else. My salary was up by I don't want to say the amount, but it was quite significant, you know.
Yeah.
And then after that, I had another move, and it was again significant, you know. So it's about getting in there, right? So you don't give up. Keep pushing your CVs out.
Yeah.
Better yourself. Make yourself ready for interviews. Actually, prepare yourself for interviews. Rehearse the interviews, and then whatever you learn from every interview, don't get disheartened. Write it down.
Yeah.
Go through it again. Polish it. You don't know when the opportunity is going to come.
Exactly.
So you keep pushing until you get something.
Exactly.
But in the meantime, when you get something on the side, it does not mean that, you know, you definitely need to get work in this field before, you know, you find yourself worthy. Sometimes you may have to start from some. That's what happened to me. I started in education and then eventually got into the, you know. So
field.
yeah, you start something and then you still keep applying.
Yeah.
You know, until your dreams come to pass. You don't give up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, so in this case, is there any professional journals or is there a particular, I don't know, like how to put it, like social media platforms or any like professional journals that you would recommend to these young people to actually have to read into? Yeah,
I would say that go to the ICE website, which is the Institute of Civil Engineers website. There's a lot of information there, honestly, and it tells you a lot about almost everything in engineering that you want to know. Transport planning is there as well. You know, so general information as well as certain routes that you can use to get chartered, or you know. So all that is there. Go to the ICE website, Institute of Civil Engineers.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And guys, that's all different ways you can prepare yourself towards the field, guys. I mean, preparation, I can't stress enough how important preparations are. If you do not prepare yourself, that one opportunity will come, and that opportunity would have been for you, and you're not ready, and that's it, you've missed it.
Yeah.
So continuously prepare yourself.
Absolutely.
As my brother was saying, constantly rehearse interview questions. Constantly practice it. But that does not mean don't do something on the side if you've not landed the first job yet. Keep preparing yourself, or else you keep yourself active and productive.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If you could do this all over again, would you get into the same profession again or not?
Well, I probably won't. But maybe I would have been an architect rather.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why
I told you at the beginning, I love architecture. I love it. And I naturally have the flair for it. And I know that if I'd gone into it, I would have been an excellent architect.
Wow.
Yeah. And I've always said, when I build my first house, I'm going to draw everything by myself and I'm going to build it. That's my dream. My dream home is going to be done by my hands. That's my aspiration. I'm going to do it. Yeah.
That you really, really love it.
I really love it.
Really love it.
Yeah.
Oh my. Anyways, I'm not surprised because it runs in the blood. It runs in the blood.
Maybe it was it's an inherited gene that is troubling me right now.
Exactly. But to be fair, guys, it may not be the passion that you have that you're gonna get into, but you know what? Just do it. If that's what you want to do, like that passion, he's also bringing that passion in at another time in his life. So that does not stop him from also embarking on the passion that he has. So at the end of the day, he's mixed up his profession with his passion. Because he's using his passion for his own personal gain, which is also another good way of doing it. So So
and I think my actual passion is actually what we're doing right now.
Oh, really?
I love, but I didn't know. I actually didn't know until recently.
Okay.
Anytime I meet somebody, it doesn't matter the forum, right? I'm just having a casual conversation. Then I end up encouraging them, telling them things that, you know, either I'm yet to do or I'm actually struggling to do, but I know is the way forward. And I just end up encouraging people, whether strangers or I know them or whatever it is.
Wow.
And I realized that I had a natural passion for doing that. Okay. So I got into ministry as well. So I'm a lay preacher for the Methodist Church.
Okay.
So yeah, whenever I'm free, I go to the Methodist Church to preach. I offer my dates that are available, and then I go to preach, and you know that. So yeah, that is sort of another area, sort of of my life, where my passion actually, I feel fulfilled when the aspect of my life is that.
It's that. Oh wow.
Yeah. I think that's where my real sort of fulfillment is. Yeah. And I know you're going to say, why don't you go into full-time ministry? But don't ask me that question.
I'll leave that question for another day. I'll leave that for another day. Bro, so, wow, thank you so much so far for the juicy information you've shared with us all. I mean, I'm really sure there's a young person out there that will definitely benefit from what you've shared.
I hope it does, let somebody out there. Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. So, just lastly, what are your last words?
Yeah.
What's your last advice to the young people out there? What would you say to them?
Yeah, I would say that none of you chose to be born. All right. So I did not choose to be born. Conan, you did not choose to be born.
Not at all.
There was a young man that said he was going to sue his parents, and the reason being that he did not ask to be born. He did not choose which country he wanted to be born in. He did not choose his siblings. He did not even get to choose his skin color or his hair. He didn't make any of those choices before he realized he was here. So he wanted to go and sue his parents. So he actually took his parents to the court. And then the parents were called to the stands. And they said that, well, son, we have the same problem. Because we did not choose to be born. For some reason, we just happened.
Yeah, exactly.
So the thing is, we all just happened. At the end of the day, we are here. The question is, how do we do this thing called life?
Yeah.
Right? How do we do it? This has been my personal experience.
Yeah.
There is no person or any inventor that creates, a device without adding a manual.
Yeah.
If you buy a car, it has a manual.
Yeah.
If you buy a blender, it has a manual.
Yeah.
If you buy a phone, it has a manual.
Yeah.
Everything has a manual. Why is that? So that even if you know how to use it, you can use it more properly. You can use it in a better way, using all the functions in the right way.
Yeah.
That is why the manual is there. So you may buy a product with so many functions and only use one function ever, underutilizing the product. Why? Because you never read the manual.
Exactly.
Probably, or even using it the wrong way, and it does not last. Why? Because you never read the manual.
The manual properly, yeah.
So, if human beings in their limited wisdom know that when I create a product, I need to add a manual to demonstrate how the product ought to be used.
Yeah.
What makes you think that the intelligent, greatest creator that put this world together will not give us a manual that teaches how to do life, in that we just happened and we don't know how to do this and we're just here? Who do we blame? We blame who made us, right?
Yeah.
So what makes you think that he will not put a manual in there? And I believe that manual is the Bible.
Exactly.
How do I know so? I believe that the Bible, the word Bible itself, is an acronym. So BIBLE is the basic instructions before life ends. It's the Bible.
Oh my gosh. You see why I love this?
Bible.
Do you see why I love this, my brother? You see, the things we take so simple, the things we just look at, he looks at it in a much, much deeper way. He looks at it in a much deeper way. It's like, what? Yeah. I never thought of this.
Yeah.
But then
so it is, I believe that it is what it is in its simplicity. That is the manual we have. So if I choose to go around the manual and to do life, what I'm doing is trial and error. Trial and error. So I can easily fall into error, to error, to error, to error, right? Because I'm always trying.
Yeah.
But God gives us certain precepts, principles, inscriptions, prescriptions, and blueprints in Scripture.
Yeah.
So these then begin to do what? Govern us in this life that we have absolutely no idea about, right? A little to the left, a little to the right. And then you keep gauging your way all through it.
Yeah.
That is what life is about.
Wow.
I can go on and on. But what I want to leave with you is that with whatever you do, okay, put Christ at the center of it. Maybe you're not Christian and you're listening to me right now. Look for Christ and make him a center of whatever you're doing. Because this is life.
Yeah.
Conan, we can't do this by ourselves. Right?
Yeah.
You may ask me that, okay, what about those who don't know Christ, but they're doing it and they're making it? Well, yeah. They will do it and they will make it. But at the end of the day, what is important? I was saying at the beginning, set the priorities right. Is it the life we're living here that is important? or the life we're living after here that is important. This is a journey, right? A 3-year-old is dying, a 70-year-old is dying, a 20-year-old is dying.
Yeah.
Whether 5 or 55, 7 or 77, we're all going to leave one day.
Exactly.
Okay? The question is, where are we from? Do we know it? Where are we going? Do we know it?
Very deep.
What are we here to do?
Very deep.
Do we know it?
Exactly.
Right? So if you can answer these fundamental questions, why were you born? Where were you coming from? What is your purpose? Where are you going after here?
Yeah.
If you have answers to this, I believe you have answers to life.
Wow.
And these things are stipulated in Scripture. So when you get familiar with the Scripture, you change your picture.
Yeah.
And then eventually it says that we are being molded into the image of Christ. And what did Christ do? He died, but he didn't remain. He resurrected.
Yeah.
So when you are transformed into the image of Christ, though death will come, but after that, there is a life after that.
Exactly.
Okay, so this is a transition. We're spiritual beings here to have a physical experience.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't let a physical experience trample over the spiritual experience or the spirit that you are.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe we'll have more time to talk about that. But I say, look for Jesus. Let Christ be the center of whatever you do, and
Absolutely.
never give up. Never lose hope. Okay, so in love, in faith, have hope, and what you desire, it will happen for you. Remember, you didn't choose to be here. God decided that you should be here, and He knows the reason why you should be here. You are in His manual. So get into the manual, and He will teach you how to navigate your life. How I landed my new job was just a miracle, because God gave me a word.
Wow.
And told me, I'm taking you to the side of plenty. And He gave me a scripture to confirm it. Because just before I went for the interview, He said, open your Bible. In the morning, I opened my Bible. And then He took me to scripture. It says that, and when Jesus, after He has gone, came back, the disciples were fishing. They fished all day and they got nothing. And then Jesus shouted, He said, cast your net to the right-hand side. And they did. And they caught so much, they couldn't pull out.
Yeah.
Right? When I was going for the interview, this is the word God gave me. I went for 2 interviews and none of them picked me. And I said, God, but why? You gave me a word. And He said, in the word I told you, I'm taking you to the side of plenty. What these guys wanted to offer me was way less than what I had.
Wow.
Oh, way less. Way
Wow.
less
Wow.
than what I had in the place that God settled me. And that was the one interview that I said nothing.
Guys.
So, yeah, let God be at the center of it. For me, it worked for me, you know. It
Wow.
has, so I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, bro,
Sure.
for sharing.
Conan.
Thank you for agreeing to share
Sure.
with the young people out there, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
God bless you.
God bless you too.
God bless you, bro. So, please tell us, how can people find you on social media? If they're, especially the young people that want to reach out to you, how can they? Do you have any social media handles?
I really don't do social media much. Not really thought of doing it, but they can reach me through you. You have a channel, and I'm your partner.
Okay,
yeah.
guys. If you really like what we're doing for you, what the content we're creating for you guys, please subscribe to Edufy World.
Yeah.
You can find us on Instagram at Edufy World, which is EDUFY and World. And then you can also find us on Facebook at Edufy World.
That's right.
So please look for us, subscribe. You can contact us on Instagram, DM us, and we can surely pass the message on to our brother here.
Happy to share anytime, advice, whatever. And we can talk about marriage another time, actually.
Stay tuned, because that's one of the juiciest contents coming up soon.
I'd love to share
it's
that.
one of the juiciest contents coming up soon, guys.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
It's been great, Conan.
We're signing out. Peace.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right.